This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook live show. It is Friday. We have a 6-game at DraftKings main slate on tap here today. Grande, some interesting midday news potentially impacting this slate. If you're over on FanDuel, did FanDuel include the late game? And
Yep.
Anthony Edwards got ruled out over there, so some lineups to be adjusted. But for our slate, maybe no Maxey today, someone that we talked about on the preview show as a spend up option here against the Pacers, which will certainly change maybe our outlook on a certain few players in that matchup specifically. If he does in fact get ruled out, that is a 7:00 start time game, so we'll have that information. How are you doing, man? How's your Friday? Did you get suckered into a 50% Duop Reith and 50% Nick Clifford last night? Yeah. Not good. 50% of the field last night. Total 12 total points between the two players.
I don't think Neek didn't end up as high as
he was 40% on the 12 single.
I think it was less. I think it was like 30.
Maybe your version of the 12. The 12 I was in, he was 41%.
I think he was 30 in the first 12.
Okay.
And either way, I mean,
Reith was 50%.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Reith was kind of a crap play that we just all fell for. I don't think Neek was bad in theory. He came out, turned the ball over twice, and immediately got subbed out, and then, went into half with 3 turnovers. I would say the Reith one was kind of a fish play because I had shared it in Discord before. They did this small ball lineup last time they did the small ball lineup. Chris Murray played 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And Rob Williams was in that game and he played 18. So there was always a chance. So it was so fishy, and I still was a fish. So tonight I will not be swimming with the fish, and I will be a shark.
Sure. We do appreciate all of you guys who are tuning in. Did have Bobby Portis. There you go, Warren. Bobby Portis was really good yesterday. We had that. If you paid attention to Grande, he told you Kyle Kuzma was one of his favorite plays of the entire day. Broke it down for you while Kyle Kuzma went out there, scored 30+ actual in that game there. Jordan Walsh, he was great. $4,700 for Jordan Walsh. No ownership on him. If you got there, maybe made some cash. But
I'm never playing. I'm just, for now on, I'm never playing him. I don't care.
So that was last night. We now turn our attention to tonight. We appreciate all of you who are tuning in. If you want to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, it's a free way to support the show. If you're on mobile, you can click that hype button as well. Another way to support the work we're doing here over at Fantasy Alarm. You guys always tuning in. Jeff popping in saying, let's get the money. Our guy Vic says evening to all. Cujo also saying good evening. Vic said it's going to be a slobber knocker night, hopefully. Warren popping in say, hey, other Jeff Powell. What's up? Good evening, gentlemen.
Some guy.
The other guy. The other Jeff. We got multiple Jeffs in the chat.
No, Jeff Powell is some guy.
Yeah. Right.
Username.
Yeah.
Other Jeff asked us about prime Landry Fields. I would say his prime is currently now as a GM. I don't think Landry Fields ever reached a prime in even when he played for the Knicks. I mean,
his Knicks days, though. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he probably averaged 11.3 points per game. I don't know. I mean, salute to Landry Fields. I think he's a better GM than he was a player.
Your highest projected roster player on the slate, you kind of nailed on the preview show. That was Jock Landale. He's 50%. So it's value coming in strong here today. Donovan Mitchell's your top overall spend up plays. So that takes us to point guard where Cade's 10-8 and he's hovering around 20% tonight. You have Giddey at $9,600. No one's really going there. How are you breaking down these top point guards?
I don't think there's any, I don't have anything bad to say about them. I don't have anything necessarily of you need to play. Like Cade obviously has a ceiling. This game is very good. There are a lot of implied points, despite it not scoring very well last time, under 200 total points. This game has 232 implied points. Detroit 7-point home favorites. We know Cade's minutes are not impacted by anything. So if you get to Cade, he has a 32% usage rate. He's a triple-double threat. Maxey, I'm assuming we're going to eventually get a question at some point during the show. Like, what's your lean on whether Tyrese Maxey plays or not? Like, I don't have one. I don't know. He was downgraded from an illness that he was originally listed probable. Now he's questionable. That's never a good sign. But if you want to play Tyrese Maxey, again, 30% usage rate player, almost 1.3 fantasy points. Sure. And then same thing with Josh Giddey. There's like immense upside when he is doing Josh Giddey things, when he's triple doubling. So all of them have very high ceilings. I don't know if there's a priority. I mean, I think the mid-tier to value is pretty good today at this position. So if you spend up, I'm sure you'll be happy, but I think there's other plays you can get to.
Yeah, I mean, from the mid-tier perspective, Garland, again, a guy we said it was going to be super popular at this price tag, he's the highest rostered point guard as of now on this slate. He and KJ Simpson basically neck and neck there. CJ McCollum popping in a little bit here as well. Are those the guys that you're looking to go to when it comes to the 6K range?
Yeah. I would like to know what Ja's minutes are going to be. I don't think it's going to be enough, but I also don't think that they would upgrade him if they didn't think he was ready to I'm waiting to see Ja. The price on Ja is pretty cheap in this spot. So I might also include him in large field stuff. But it's mainly CJ and Garland. You don't often see teams with 130 implied points. And that's what we have with Cleveland tonight. 130 implied points is pretty ridiculous. Will the game stay competitive is the question. Garland might only play 28 minutes, and is that enough?
Yeah.
For what you assume is a third option. I mean, it could be a second option. We know Mitchell's going to just be number one on any given night, any night, and then it's is Mobley being aggressive, or is he just doesn't care about, is he being soft, or is Garland the alpha that we've seen him be? So I like Garland quite a bit. I think he's very safe at 6,400. We just hope he plays the fourth quarter. And if he does, CJ McCollum scoring a lot of points. I mean, he has a 30% usage rate without Alex Sarr this year. So yeah, I mean, I think they're both good. We just need that game to stay competitive, and that's ultimately the question. There's 15-point spread. One team has 130 implied points. It's a massive paced up spot for Cleveland. Washington's playing really fast. They're the worst defensive team in the league. So it's mainly those guys. And then Ja, I would like to know what the minutes are. Keontae, obviously.
Warren going to be talked out of Keontae tonight. So.
I mean, Memphis is a much better defense than they were earlier in the year. How much does that have to do with Zach Edey's presence? I mean, Edey was blocking a lot of shots, and now it's back to Jock Landale. Edey, Jaren Jackson is a really good defensive front court. Jock Landale and Jaren Jackson is a different front court, and you're putting in John Morant into that equation. You're going from Vince Williams playing point guard at 6'5", 6'6", and Cam Spencer being the backup to I don't even know what Vince Williams' role is going to be. And John Morant, who's, not exactly known for his defense.
Sure.
And now you're going from Edey to Landale. So it is a better spot for Keontae than it was. High usage rate. He's usurped Lauri Markkanen as the team leader in usage rate this year. Over 28% now. Just behind Lowry in terms of fantasy points per minute. He's at 1.1. So I'm not going to talk you out of Keontae, Warren. I think he's definitely a solid play. It's you feel better about that game, I think, staying more competitive. If you're worried about the McCollum Garland range because you don't think that game can stay competitive, well, here's Keontae George as an alternative. Like
Sure.
that game could definitely, you'll get fourth quarter run out of Keontae.
As I mentioned, KJ Simpson's getting ownership here. We kind of talked that through as well. No ball, no man. $4,500, played 29 minutes, gets a matchup against Chicago, one of the better matchups on the board for most teams. I know you're particularly high on at least one Hornet tonight. Does KJ Simpson crack lineups for you?
Yeah, I think there's legitimate, like not a shortage of Hornets you can play. Bulls are losers of 7 straight. They are in free fall mode. Their coach is saying like we're terrible. They're up to second in pace as well. So it's like a massive pace of spot for Charlotte. Charlotte's 24th in pace this year. Chicago's allowed the fourth most points in the paint. They also are 23rd in defense overall. I don't think we're going to get like 38 minutes out of KJ Simpson. My guess would be he stays around this 28, 29, 30 minute mark. Just that's where Charlotte's comfortable with their third point guard and like the range, because they could like Sion James and Bridges and Knipple and Miller are good enough to handle a lot of the ball handling responsibilities if Simpson's not on the floor. But yeah, I think he's definitely in a good spot. It's different, 3,039 to 45, you know. I think those are vastly different prices. But I think, at 30 minutes, if that's where you project KJ Simpson, then I think he's more than fine with this cupcake matchup he has.
The other guard that's actually getting some ownership here is Walter Clayton Jr. Obviously got a lot of blowout run in that game against OKC, had 20 actual, 9 assists. He's been playing more minutes though lately, and we obviously know there's a lot of talent there. The offense is starting to come around. People just looking for just, I guess, punt plays tonight, but as of now, at least it's like 15%. Any interest in Walter Clayton Jr.?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to like. He's really cheap. He's playing over Isaiah Collier. Like Collier is entering the game before him, but then Clayton plays the whole second quarter.
Yeah.
And then he's played most of the fourth quarter in the last like 4 games. They had sent him down to the G League in between this break with like most of the team, and he's like the only one that got recalled. So I do have a good bit of interest in Walter Clayton. I think he point guard, shooting guard eligibility, really cheap. Like he plays in the rotation kind of ahead of Collier now as your backup guard. And he's on the floor in blowouts too. And Collier hasn't been. So there's a bunch to like about Walter Clayton. Like I don't think he's not like a core play of mine, but he's absolutely in the player pool.
I mean, gone over 5x in 4 straight games now. So 5 straight games now. So, and obviously huge game, almost over 10x against the Thunder there. I wrote up him in my underdog article today because his point prop over there was at 7.5. So, he's been clearing that.
Good. Yeah.
He's been clearing that pretty easily. So we took the over 7.5 points on Walter Clayton today. Anything else at point guard for you?
Anything else at point guard? There's the Dallas stuff.
Sure.
That you could talk about. Honestly, if I'm playing one of them, I'd probably just like play the cheaper Brandon Williams because he's a higher usage player. And Brooklyn's really bad at allowing points in the paint. Brandon Williams led the team in drives last game. It's just hard to, ever know when Nembhard's going to be extended versus Williams. It's really just hot hand, right? Like Nembhard still won out on minutes last game, but Williams played 23 and dominated. He's just cheaper. Then there's the Cam Spencer stuff. Like, again, I assume Ja's on a limit. I would just enjoy, like, I just want to know.
Maxey officially out.
Oh boy. Okay, we'll pause on Cam Spencer for a second, because this news obviously matters more. Jared McCain is $4,100.
Yeah.
So the first question is, what does Philly do with their starting lineup? Paul George, Joel Embiid, Quentin Grimes, VJ Edgecombe. That's 4.
Yeah.
McCain will probably overthrow, if he's starting, he'll probably be as highly owned, if not more, than Landale at $4,100.
I was gonna say he jumps over KJ Simpson now, probably.
Yes, he'll easily be the highest rostered point guard. I'm not sure if they do it. They might just play VJ on the ball, but I guess we'll see if they want a more like, we'll see, because they, PG is obviously a really good creator and playmaker. Quentin Grimes has played point guard for them. Like, they could just start Barlow and do the Grimes. I'm not saying McCain's going to probably get ownership regardless here. I'll wait and see on the starting lineup to like really go in. The numbers I had earlier with just Maxey on or off the floor, the most minutes this year, let's see. The most minutes this year is Quentin Grimes, or VJ Edgecombe had a 155 and Grimes had 150 with Tyrese Maxey off the floor. Both of them have pretty solid usage rates, but it's hard because Joel Embiid's barely played without Tyrese Maxey this year. Like, all of his minutes have basically been attached to Tyrese Maxey. And same thing with Paul George, like, because Maxey just doesn't come off the floor.
Yeah.
McCain's numbers look pretty bad without Tyrese Maxey this year. He just hasn't been very good in general. 19.5% usage rate without Tyrese Maxey, under 0.8 fantasy points per minute. But if he's starting, it's just a different conversation.
Yeah.
I don't like those. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the numbers. I mean, it's been pretty obvious. Like, he hasn't been as good since he's returned.
Sure.
So yeah, it's gonna be fascinating to see the ownership and the way that they handle their starting lineup, because I think in a scenario where he doesn't start, the minutes are probably low to mid 20s. And if he starts, like, we could be talking about high 20s, low 30s. And then that changes the equation.
Sure. I mean, again, we got 2 games of 29 minutes out of him already, so we know he can get there if they.
Yeah. I don't think it's like because he can't. I think if he doesn't start, I'd be worried because if they're running the Grimes VJ backcourt. I mean, Quentin Grimes only played like 28 minutes last game with like a fully healthy team.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume Grimes just plays like 38 minutes. That's basically what they've done for most of the year. So, yeah, it's gonna depend on the starting lineup for me. But we're gonna see the update here, and McCain's gonna fly up the boards with, the Sims thinking that he's gonna start.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was just saying if we had any updates on like who may or may not start yet. I don't see any reliable source yet saying that they're going there or not. So
was that Nurse? Did Nurse? The Sixers said it, so it wasn't even Nurse yet.
Yeah.
Okay, because we know. Yeah, you were looking for the Nurse comments, I'm sure, because Nurse is like always so transparent. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything on an actual starting lineup yet. They said so based on the practice jerseys.
Okay, we got practice jerseys, like it.
Grimes and VJ were wearing the starter unis. McCain was wearing the non-starter unis.
That would be my guess. And then we know your boy Barlow. They love Barlow.
Yeah.
So they go Grimes, VJ, PG at the 3 because they've enjoyed playing PG at the 3. Barlow and Embiid. Yeah. That would be my guess.
That is based on the morning practice jerseys.
Okay. There's always practice jersey watch is always a fun.
Practice jersey watch is always a thing. We want to finish your Cam Spencer thought there.
I mean, Cam Spencer thought might not matter if I guess he's kind of similar to McCain, where we know he's going to come off the bench. He's obviously been better. Like, he's been really good this year. I would think, and Memphis plays a lot of players every night, right? Like 10, 11 guys nightly. My guess is the Vince Williams role is slashed like in half, and Cam Spencer plays as much as they can get him on the floor, like around Ja, right? Because like they've been Vince Williams wasn't really playing pre-Ja injury, and then was like, "Hey, you're gonna start at point guard," and he's probably like, "What? I'm starting where?" But Cam Spencer has been an absolute maniac. It's hard to really get him off the floor, so I'm okay. Like, if you end up here, it's a great spot. Utah plays really fast. They are really bad defensively. They rank 29th in defensive rating this year. Only worse, Washington Wizards. So anytime you're like in Wizard territory, like that's really good for you. So I liked Spencer in tournaments quite a bit. It's just obviously Utah loves a lot of threes. Cam Spencer makes a bunch. So yeah. A lot of good there.
Yep, agreed with you. Seeing if we had any update, but not yet. I guess so. Assuming McCain isn't starting, would you rather go back to Simpson then as your guy?
Yes, because we're gonna talk. We're gonna get to I had the Grimes stuff. We're moving to shooting guard, so we'll get to Grimes here. I would rather play him, and I mean VJ played 38 minutes last game, so Nurse had talked about it like there's going to be a lift on the limit soon, and then Nurse was like, "Yeah, here's 38 minutes, buddy."
Yeah. All right. Well, it takes us to shooting guard. Donovan Mitchell's $9,800. Obviously, massive drop in salary once you get below him. You mentioned that they're projected for like 130 points today. So you would assume a lot of that would have to do with Donovan Mitchell and $9,800. He's coming in, at least for now, around 20%. We'll see if that adjusts based on this Maxey news. But below him, Flag, NAW, Keyshawn, Kneppel, Grimes. We had obviously liked, you mentioned the numbers for Grimes, Kneppel without Ball, Cooper Flag's been really good. I mean, how are you handling this spot now?
Just go to Joseph Muma's question here, John. He's a waiter. So he's used to waiting on people. So sorry, Joseph, for us.
He's a waiter?
Yeah, it says, look at his name. W8R, right? Isn't that waiter?
I guess. I got it.
Come on, dude. I'm a dad. I just make bad dad jokes all the time.
I was going to say, I don't know what
I'm assuming that's Brandon Williams.
Yeah, our Brandon Williams. Yeah.
I mean, like, you can.
I don't know why you would have to now with the others. There's like full starters, right? Like
you can if that's like a pairing that you want to play. I think Nembhard's fine. Obviously it's a good game environment. This is Ryan Nembhard and Williams. No, I would not.
Yeah, that's our Nembhard and Williams. Yeah,
no, I would not. I missed the R. I would not play them together. It's max one of those two players.
Okay, we got Trey Johnson will have a minutes limit today.
Okay. So. He got a lot of ownership here too at shooting guard. It's probably because the shooting guard's small forward, but
I imagine that will be coming down after all the news that just came through. So
yeah, I obviously Donnie is in the same boat as like all Cleveland, same boat. Can play. Hope the game stays close. Massive ceilings if it does. This game's going to score 270 points if it stays close, and Donovan Mitchell's going to have like 50 actual. NAW is fine, not the best spot, but obviously like 25% usage over a fantasy point per minute. Cooper Flag, another guy. I actually like Cooper Flag a bunch. He had a lot of attacks on the rim, a lot of drives last game, led second on the team behind Brandon Williams. I mentioned Brooklyn allows a lot of points in the paint. Looks very comfortable as the season goes on and as he plays with point guard, like Cooper Flag in tournaments. Keyshawn, always and forever tournaments. Proud of the field for getting to Kneppel today. Like, the Bulls are absolutely atrocious in every category imaginable. Like, if you want to attack them with drivers, if you want to attack them with shooters, you want to attack them with pace-up spots, like every game Knipple plays and makes shots, he blows up. Like really good numbers, sans LaMelo this year. 23% usage, 1.15 fantasy points per minute. It's not just LaMelo. It's LaMelo, Sexton, and Trey Mann, like three of their guards that are in their rotation. So love Knipple. I'm going to have a lot of Quentin Grimes interest here. Again, you could take what you want from the starter jerseys. This year, when it's just Tyrese Maxey off the floor, again, he has the second largest sample, 26% usage over a fantasy point per minute. He's good. We know Nick Nurse is a coach that plays his starters like boatloads of minutes. I mean, we've seen Quentin Grimes play 40 minutes on multiple occasions this year. We know what the end of year Quentin Grimes experience looked like last year when it was his team. And I know Paul George and Embiid are going to play, but 6,200 shooting guard small forward with 40-minute upside as the team's de facto point guard. So you can sign me up for that against Indiana. I would assume that the ownership is a rocket ship from here. I mean, the ownership I'm looking at obviously factors in Tyrese Maxey being in. It's less than 1%.
Yeah.
And it's the same for VJ Edgecombe. They're both less than 1% rostered. I can imagine for two guys that have 40-minute upside in a really good game environment, both would get like a pretty sizable increase. Indiana's 10th in pace this year. So like it's a good pace of spot for Grimes and Edgecombe. They allow top 10 points in the paint. Like both are good drivers. So I like Philly a lot. And that's obviously when you take best player off floor to a team that already doesn't play a lot of guys and plays their starters a lot of minutes. It's hard not to just gush over Philly in a spot against the bottom 10 defense in the league. So Grimes, Edgecombe, fire him up.
Coward was getting a lot of ownership earlier. Again, I imagine that now swaps, but thoughts there on the Memphis rookie?
He correlates pretty well with Ja this year. He's under a fantasy point per minute without Ja. He's over a fantasy point per minute without Edie and Ja in, which I think matters quite a bit. Because we know how good Cedric Coward is as a rebounder. And when you're taking Zach Edey and replacing him with Jock Landale, that's those are two different players. So I think Coward's pretty good. I mean, you said it on the show last night. We'd love to see more consistent minutes. Like, yes, I think that there was some factors, like the Portland game was an absolute shellacking. They just demolished them. And in the competitive games, he has been sitting in that 28, 29 minute range. We liked him at that range earlier in the year, basically at this price too. So, I think he correlates really well with Ja. As much crap as Ja has gotten this year, he's a good passer. Like he is a good and willing passer as well.
Value at the position, anybody stand out to you? Again, there are some guys with dual positional eligibility. Trey Johnson was getting ownership, but now there's going to be a minutes limit on him. McCain, we expect to see boosted up here. You can play Walter Clayton here as well. Anything else that's standing out to you?
Nah, it's nothing but it's nothing like for the overlap stuff, honestly. Nothing that I would, if they came out and said Trey Johnson was going to play 24 to 28 minutes, would that be enough for you?
Probably at the price.
I mean, they also ruled out Branham today. So like they have their third string depth is even like depleted, So I don't know. Like if we got a definitive number on Trey Johnson, Nick Nurse got some quotes here, John.
Okay.
Said he doesn't know who the fifth starter is going to be. More specifically, Nurse said his starting lineup would be, quote, different. And then the comments were Quentin Grimes had the jersey on. So I don't know what different means.
Yeah.
But that is what he said. He said it will be different. He's not sure, although seems like he does know. seems like. I
mean, like that would be a different starting lineup with Grimes and Edgecombe. So
yeah.
So
yes, does seem like is the difference he starts Jabari Walker over Dominic Barlow? That's the difference. you know, like I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Kenneth, yes, Maxey is out.
Yep, Kenneth is Maxey's out. I'm doing a tiny bet on Embiid. Yeah, I mean, literally anything is possible with Embiid and PG now. So,
Kenyon,
yep.
I think is how to say your name. Sorry if I butchered that. I don't. There is just like it's obviously changing day to day, but there is quantifiable data that you can see how many drives a player has per game on NBA.com. Like you can look at that stuff. So like if I'm referencing a player driving a lot, it's because the data
says they do.
Yeah. That's all. When I reference that, that's what I'm referencing.
Everybody's in for the Bulls tonight.
Yeah. Except Herder and Ayo.
Yeah. Jalen Smith, Trey Jones, both in.
Yeah, they were expected to play. And Okoro, I think Kobe White's probably still going to be on some type of restriction. I'm assuming we'll probably get that as well eventually.
Yeah. All right, let's go to small forward. Brandon Miller's currently the highest rostered small forward. Again, that could certainly change when Grimes ownership adjusts.
They're bringing Embiid off bench.
Yeah, I mean that would be a change
hilarious.
there, Vic.
That's funny. He's their starting point guard. He's the starting point guard tonight, Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
No knees.
MBJ is here at $8,300. This morning or when we did the preview show, Ty talked about sort of just the overall volume of shot taking that he is doing, and therefore he's just kind of like consistently crushing the, just his overall value, giving where his price is. So at $8,300 as the most expensive small forward, I was like, all right, I'm in. And then I see that Dallas is along the fewest 3-pointers per game.
Nothing, dude. I was literally gonna ask you this. This was you stole my question. I was gonna ask you this question. They do not give up nothing at all.
Obviously, again, we do the research. You did the DFS showdown lineup today. I did the pick'em articles. So I'm like, lock in Michael Porter Jr., like volume king, gonna be great. Doing the research, nothing from 3-point range.
It's all at the rim, dude. They allow the most points in the paint in the NBA. They allow 11 threes per game.
11 made threes per game, Dallas.
Fewest in the league per game.
So I backed away from Michael Porter Jr. Probably could have done the under 25.5 points, honestly, but I didn't want to get too crazy with it. But I mean, he's knocking down a whole bunch of threes and now going up against a team that doesn't allow him. I'm a little worried about that for MPJ now.
I thought the exact my brain and your brain were simpatico here because I thought the exact thing. I knew Dallas played fast. I knew their defensive rating was pretty good, and I knew they allowed points in the paint. And I was like, let me go check their. Oh, yeah, they don't allow threes at all.
Nope, don't allow them. So I backed off, and
lowest field goal percentage from three too, 32.9%.
Yeah, it's not just that they don't allow threes; it's because they're not like 32.9%. So I'm not playing Michael Porter Jr. I'm not playing. He'll take 25 shots tonight, but I don't like those odds anymore.
Well, and it says something, right? They allow the most points in the paint and the fewest threes. So their defensive strategy is here, take this 2. You will not beat us with 3.
Yeah.
You want 2? Sure. You want 3? No, sir. They're also like very lengthy, right? Like they're playing massive.
Marshall, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, like all
Cooper, 18 years old is a freak. Like, I mean, they are like a very athletic.
Yeah, Michael Porter's 3-point prop today. So what really triggered it a little bit is 3-point prop is 3.5, but it's minus 160 on the under. And I was like, he's knocking down 5-6 threes a game. Like, what are we talking about here? And then I went and looked, and that's why. Okoro is going to play 20 minutes.
Yeah, Okoro and Smith 20 limit, and Trey Jones was 24. Travis, we talked to Cam Spencer. We had you could just rewind a little bit. We had a good conversation about him.
Not as much because KJ Simpson is starting and potentially now McCain.
Yeah.
We want to know the job minutes, so I don't think you need to go Cam Spencer. You could, but there's definitely a real floor there. So
yep.
I'm out on Michael Porter Jr. Long way to go around and say it. The Pacers also don't allow 3 points, by the way. Yes. So if you're playing Philly, take that into consideration too. The Pacers are number 2 in fewest 3-pointers allowed and 3-point percentage, which again is surprising considering how bad Indiana has been defensively. But they too allow everything at the rim.
Yeah, everything at the rim. Yep.
Everything at the rim. So when you're playing, Philly tonight, JoJo maybe popping a little bit more than before. So, all right. Talk to me about the rest of small forward again. Miller is currently your highest rostered guy there. Any other interest in this mid-range?
I mean, dude, Miller, it's a small sample. Brandon Miller, no LaMelo, no Sexton, no Man, 36.6% usage rate. So it's up 5%. The fantasy points per minute haven't been great, but he hasn't made a lot of shots. But we know that there's just an infinite ceiling when his shot's falling. Mm-hmm. And he's going to take a lot of threes. He's going to take a lot of shots. So it's hard to ignore a near 37% usage rate with the players off the court that are off the court against the Bulls. So I have absolutely no issue if Brandon Miller is someone you lock. I think PJ Washington is a fine pivot. Returns, I think ankle sprain, 36 minutes right off the bat. Going to play another 36 plus.
Yeah, Brooklyn not the same as Dallas defending the 3-point line. Third worst team in the NBA. So
no, and they're just bad. Like they allow points at the rim and behind 3-point line. So you can attack them anywhere you want. We talked Grimes, like him a lot. Didn't really talk Jalen Tyson, probably a little priced out, but you could play him in tournaments. Mm-hmm. I don't love the next tier. Like DeAndre Hunter, anyone's guess when he's going to play 30 minutes. He's also just been kind of bad lately.
Hard to be good when Jalen Tyson's doing everything,
It's true. It's true. He has definitively been the 4th or 5th option nightly. Asar is, I have it's hard for me with Detroit. I've said this repeatedly, basically since they've gotten everyone back. They're playing 11 guys in the first. We had someone, I think Ron, shout out Ron, longtime commenter and watcher. He had commented on the pre-show, what do you mean by it's hard to trust Detroit minutes? John, I don't know if while I'm talking, you want to pull up Detroit's popcorn machine and flash it on the screen.
Sure.
But if you go, their last game was on the 6th, I think. The 5th. Yeah, the 6th. December 6th against Milwaukee. They played 10 guys in the first quarter. And Tobias Harris didn't even play in this game. So you're playing I get it. There was some lost time due to blowout. Obviously, you look at some of this and some of these guys lost out about 4 minutes. But when you're playing 11 guys, multiple rotations a game, and it doesn't even include Tobias Harris, the only person that's not affected typically is Cade Cunningham. And I think Asar is fine. He has been about a fantasy point per minute this year. But it's 30 minutes seems to be the ceiling when they're at full strength. And he really hasn't gotten there often at full strength. So you are really relying on a low usage player to be the rebounding and assist guy you think he can be. And those two things are hard to be when Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham are on your team, right? So I'm okay with it. I just
the Ivy minutes are something where we want to watch, right?
And the Ivy minutes, right?
Because we didn't even talk about Ivy, obviously, we talked about him on the preview show. He's another just super cheap guard that no one's playing. But if he's going to play 20 minutes or he starts to play 22, 24 minutes, that price won't be 3,500 or 3,400 or whatever it is for too long. So
right, and those and obviously, like, as Ivy gets minutes, somebody's minutes go away or somebody's minutes start dwindling. And I'm not saying it's Asar, but 2 minutes from Asar Thompson hurts Asar Thompson because you need him out there because when he's out there, he's not a 30% or even 25 or even really a 20% usage guy. So it's fine. I think it's like a last piece in type player.
Justin Champagnie is your number 2 for ownership as of now. Again, waiting on that Philly update. But this probably holds, truthfully. I mean, gonna start, probably plays 30 minutes with everybody who's out. Johnson coming back, but now limited, so $4,400, Justin Champagnie, a good value play today.
Yeah, Keyshawn, McCollum, Bagley, and then there's 2 starting spots, probably Bub and Champagnie, right?
Yeah, I would assume that's it. Yeah.
We lost Branham. That's another rotation out. Middleton's obviously out.
They don't play Cam Whitmore.
They hate Cam Whitmore, and he hates basketball, and they're probably not going to play him again. I mean, if he does, obviously that's unfortunate for Champagnie rosters, but
sure.
He is a very active player. He did get no blowout run the last time they got absolutely trounced, which is like a little scary. So if you're playing him in hopes that he will play in the blowout, I'm not so sure about it, but if he's anywhere near 30 minutes, he should smash at 4,400.
Okay. Any other values here at small forward?
Any other values? Ace Bailey is fine as a last piece in. Another Utah guy that will start and play in a blowout as well. In a competitive game, it's kind of like anyone's guess on what the minutes will be. I guess what doesn't hurt him, I believe. I'm going to check the injury report again. I think Taylor Hendricks is still with the G League team. He was like one of the guys that got left down there.
Yeah.
Taylor Hendricks and Cody Williams with the G League team. So like, I do think there is less of a like rotation pieces to take minutes away from Ace Bailey. So I'm okay with him at $4,600. He obviously has a pretty good ceiling. Krejci is fine as like last piece in guy. He plays a bunch of minutes. Like when there's no KP, Krejci is usually the guy who gets the most minutes off the bench. When KP plays, it's Okongwu. But when Okongwu's starting, usually Krejci leapfrogs Mo Gay, and they just play like more wings than they do Mo Gay. So I think Krejci is okay as like last piece in. And obviously Trey Johnson, if we get word on what the minutes would be. I do think it's possible Jabari Walker, who's been in the rotation, starts for Barlow. If they are talking about moving starters around, I guess that's something that could open up.
Yeah.
If Jabari Walker starts, maybe you take a look there at 3,700.
Okay. Power forward.
Let's answer Michael's question, John, since we're
FanDuel.
Yeah, we'll just answer yes. I broke down the and Keith has it on site as well, but I did the showdown write up for that game. Randall is definitely priority. I think Naz Reid is definitely a priority. Usually when these games without they will prioritize offense. They played Bones Highland a bunch last game. Could be a punty option. DiVincenzo. They're down. It's not only it's also Mike Conley. So they're down like 2 of their top 7 rotation players. You could basically play anyone who starts plus Naz Reid plus like take a shot on Dillingham or Bones Highland. That would be how I look at Minnesota. But I think they're all great. I would prioritize Randall. I would prioritize Naz probably over Jaden McDaniels, but I think Jaden's fine.
All right, power forward. Jalen Johnson's 10-6. Had him on the cover of the preview show. Jalen Johnson checking in with just 8% ownership tonight. Guy has gone for 70 plus in 4 of the last 5. There's obviously now a lot more, I guess, value potentially opening up on this slate. Do you think that changes? Is Jalen Johnson your number 1 today? Like, where are we?
So I was actually like looking at this today, like the matchup, and I was like, this is not a good matchup. And I know he had like a pretty good game against them the other day.
Good.
And he's just kind of been matchup proof in every spot imaginable, sans Trae Young. And I was like, I don't know if we need to get to Jalen Johnson today. And then I looked at the ownership and I was like, well,
if no one else is going to a guy that scored 70 in 4 of the last 5,
I will be brave. I've never been shy about playing Jalen Johnson. I don't think today is going to be the day that I do it. So, again, like, let's look at the facts. No Trae Young, no Kristaps Porzingis, 28% usage, 1.5 fantasy points per minute. That player is 6% owned, 7% owned, or 8% owned.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of interest in a sub 10% Jalen if that holds. Will it hold? TBD, John. But if it holds, then yes, there is a lot of interest there for sure.
Kenneth, I mean, we've gone over a number of value plays that are on the slate today. I think some of them are actually pretty good. I think KJ Simpson is a really good value play today going up against Chicago. So, I mean, I guess it depends on where you're looking necessarily for your value or what you consider for value. If you're talking like 3K punt plays, sure. Like you're playing a little risky game like Walter Clayton Jr. or something like that today. But,
and there's one that we haven't gotten to.
We haven't gotten to Landale yet. So I mean, there are definitely some value plays, but I guess it depends on how you guys are building your lineups. We do encourage you to go join Fantasy Alarm, join our Discord. If you share us your lineup in our premium Discord channel, we will comment on it. We will help you out.
I'm looking right now that I see through you did that in our Discord 24 minutes ago.
Okay,
shared his lineup in our Discord.
I got to pop up in the Discord. I've been too busy making Fantasy Alarm holiday jingles today.
Keith's in there. Keith's, of course, great Keith Eister's in there answering the questions. Also, I see through you, man of many talents, asking in the Discord of lineup questions while in the chat. Man of what many hats.
Well, he knows how to get the full value of his Fantasy Alarm membership. So, but again, if you guys are not yet members of Fantasy Alarm, you see down at the scroll, you can get 50% off your first month, $19.99, fantasyalarm.com/YouTube, promo code YT50. Or if you just want 20% off every month, up in the top corner, you have NBA 20. Go to fantasyalarm.com/win, enter promo code NBA 20 in the promo code field there, and you'll get 20% off each month. So honestly, saving yourself a whole bunch of money over the course of the year there. So join the family, get in our premium Discord. If you screenshot your lineup and say, hey, what do you guys think? We will give you our honest answer on those lineups. We'll help you guys. We'll tell you maybe where you could adjust. What we find, and this is, we do it too sometimes, is a lot of you guys, when you build your lineup, you go superstars and scrubby. And that creates a ton of volatility, some guys with horrifically low floors, and you try to chase those big boom bust lineups. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's the break. So, when you're looking for value, Kenneth, and you say like can't find good value, there are a number of good value plays we talked about, but how many are you trying to play? Where are you trying to fit them in your lineup? Those are questions that we're happy to answer in our Discord. So again, you can scan that QR code. You can do the fantasyalarm.com/YouTube promo code, become a member of Fantasy Alarm. Even for the month, it's just $20. Get in our premium Discord and we'll help you guys build some lineups there as well. Of course, we also stay, if you're new to the show, at the end of the show, we do build out kind of a core lineup for you guys, and there will be some value plays certainly in that as well. So back to power forward here. Jalen Johnson, you and I are certainly in on as a low-owned play. Warren wants to know the ownership on the will go to the gone to the locker room, man. That's Anthony Davis.
Teens.
Yeah.
16, high teens as of right now, 16, 17%.
Yeah, we did just finally get the.
Yeah, Philly's very popular.
Yeah, we did just finally get that update. KJ Simpson held ground, though, for a point guard. At least what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
so,
no, I think because people saw the McCain update.
Probably not starting news. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that changes if we get the McCain starting.
Edgecombe is now your highest rostered shooting guard. Quentin Grimes is fourth highest.
JoJo's very popular.
Yeah, Joel Embiid, very popular now as well. Paul George, 20%. We're at power forward, so we can talk about it. But Anthony Davis is around 17% right now. And again, we got an hour to roster lock. These numbers will fluctuate. We'll have them updated over at Fantasy Alarm for you guys there as well. How are you how in on Paul George are you now? Because you and I talked a little bit about the preview show or before we went live today. You were doing some underdog battle royal drafts. Where does PJ fit for you now that he's playing 30 minutes in back-to-back games and there's no Maxey?
Too cheap.
Yeah.
He's too cheap. It's a very small sample, so we take it with a grain of salt. This year, no Tyrese Maxey, 30, almost a 30% usage rate, 29.3, 1.1 fantasy points per minute. He's been a high usage player this year in general, outside of his last game, which was very weird. But the minutes trended in the right direction. That was the most important thing. We just saw the minutes trending upwards. I am definitely in on Paul George. I don't think that you should assume like the minutes aren't going to continue to climb. We've seen a pretty steady progression of Paul George minutes outside that random Washington game where he left and then, missed the next game. So yeah, I like Paul George quite a bit here. I mean, dude, there are a lot of Philly you could play. They're from, there's 4 guys, $5,800 and up that are very viable. So picking the right one is obviously, or 2 or 3, or is obviously the decision you have to make. But Paul George is very viable. The thing for me is I think that this power forward spot is elite. We have Johnson and AD at the top. I think both of them are great if you want to get to them. You have Mobley that's super popular and it's warranted. It's a great spot. Washington's obviously terrible defensively. Evan Mobley has a massive ceiling at $8,700. Also, it could be a blowout, and he plays 32 minutes, and that's not enough.
Yeah. I'm
playing Miles Bridges over any of them. I think Miles Bridges is one of the best plays of the slate, if not like the best. He's my guy. I've been posting the GIFs on Twitter of my guy like every day. And my guy today on the court specifically, got to clarify, is Miles Bridges. John, last game, no LaMelo Ball. He had 19 drives. He had 19 points on those drives. The Bulls want you. They say, hey, guys, come score at the rim if you want. Nikola Vucevic is horrendous at defending the rim. Jalen Smith will at least present a little bit of resistance there, but he's on a limit. They also have Zach Collins in the mix. So who knows what they're going to do with their center rotation today. Yeah. Miles Bridges also had 18 potential assists last game, John. 18 potential assists last game.
Yeah.
So I think he is better than anyone above him. I'm not saying I'm probably going to play 2 of them. Truthfully, that's probably where I end up.
Yeah. But his 3-point shooting has fallen off so bad. The last 2 years, it's only 30%. He's a mid-30s guy previously, but if he ever finds a 3-point shot, there's just even more of a ceiling for him there.
Agreed.
I just want to quickly touch Casey. Casey's watching on X, so I don't know if he can rewind. We do not want Michael Porter Jr. today. For those of you just tuning in, Dallas allowing the fewest 3-pointers per game to their opponent and holding them to the lowest 3-point percentage per game this year as well. So we are not paying up for Michael Porter Jr. today at the small forward position. All right, so I'm with you on the Bridges play. Again, I like Jalen Johnson, Anthony Davis. All those guys are solid. Sandy Aldama continues to get ownership here. Obviously, there's no Edie. 27% right now. $5,800, $5,600 now. Where are we with the Santi play?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we saw earlier in the year, right? Where Landale was your starter, and you saw kind of like 3-man rotation in the front court with Santi and Jaren and Landale. That was like it. They don't really like Prosper might get a couple minutes. They don't have Bassie anymore. So I like it at 5,600. Like we just had a Triple J question. I would rather play Santi Aldama than Triple J. I almost have no interest in whatever version of Triple J this is, whether Zach Edey's on the floor or not. Triple J has been an 18% usage player with John Moran on the floor this year. 18%. This is a guy who's like been 30% or higher in the last couple seasons. So essentially no interest in Jaren. I'd rather play Santi, and I'm in on Santi at that price.
Sure. Any value plays here? We did have a Wolf question. Anything you're looking to play?
No, I'm out on Wolf. He had it would be Champagny here anyway. The Wolf 19 minutes was kind of fluky. He played 4 in blowout, so he was only like 15 regular Danny Wolf minutes.
Yeah.
At full strength, I don't love that, right? I don't love the 15-ish minutes. I'm not saying because they got people back. Like they played Drake Powell in that game. They played who else did they didn't play Tyrese Martin, which I found interesting, but they're doing like the Serif and Drake Powell in the rotation and stuff. So if they're gonna like play a bunch of guys and the starters are gonna play big minutes,
Dallas not allowing threes, so
not allowing threes. Yeah,
great spot there. What else are we doing here? We had Kenneth McCain gets a bump. We talked about that. Not gonna start though, so
we think we saw starters jerseys said he wasn't gonna start.
Anything else to power forward for you?
Anything else at power forward? Barlow probably starts, but probably too expensive at 48. You could play Will Riley if you want to do a narrative there, but that's
play Champagny here as well.
You can play, Champagny. That's where the ownership is helping him, or the multi-position eligibility is helping the ownership for sure.
All right, going to center. As we said, the Maxi News has bumped Joel Embiid to be your second highest rostered center. Jock Landale is still 44% right now. So everybody's still just plugging in $3,700 Jock Landale. But if you're spending up, and I say spending up in quotations, really, Joel Embiid at 7,100 is where the field is getting to right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, his mobility is shot. His knees, he can't move very well. That hasn't stopped him from his activity offensively. It stopped him from being efficient, and it stopped him from being like the normal can block your shot, can get up and get every rebound kind of guy. But I'm definitely good with getting to JoJo. I mean, like Indiana just doesn't have people to stop. Like Jay Huff block shots, but Jay Huff also is foul happy and jumps at everything.
And Joel Embiid, prime Joel Embiid, was going to the free throw line 10 times a game. More than that.
He's still he's still like for what he is. I mean, he's taken 8 free throws in two of the last 3 games. Like he's still able to do some things offensively that he can't make 3. That's gone. He's shooting horribly from 3.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't hit 0 for 12, over 14.
Yeah, they asked Nurse about it. He's shooting like 20% on the year, and they were like, "What is he doing?" He's like, "I still want him to take the shots." So, yeah, I think Embiid looks great. Another one who, there's no Tyrese Maxey. There's really no limit on what his usage rate can, because he said it was Maxey's team. Well, Maxey's not there, so he gets to put the captain. He gets to sit in the captain's chair again, right? So I think JoJo looks good at 71, and like just to jump ahead to Landale, no reason to think he's not starting without Edey, and no reason to think he's not playing high 20s minutes.
Yep,
so
I agree with you. Remember Jock Jam? Yeah, we got him at $3,700. We'll certainly be going there. Bridges and Landale or Embiid and Simpson for Michael over on FanDuel.
It's a miserable question. I'm going to say the first pairing
Just because you're super high on Bridges.
Because I'm very, very bullish on Bridges on the court.
Philly Big Four. How would you rank them?
Oh shoot! Oh, this is like possibly going to contradict the question to Michael, but it's not meant to. At least on DraftKings, I don't have to worry about that.
And I first.
I would probably. Maybe positionally it's Grimes because he has shooting guard, small forward.
Kind of have like super high potential here.
Yeah, because if they're gonna use him at point guard, I'll go Grimes, Embiid, PG, VJ, but I like all of them.
Yeah,
like I'll go Grimes, Embiid, PJ, VJ, PG, VJ.
Yeah. Casey, honestly, it might be Claxton as our favorite net today.
Yes, it is.
I don't like a lot of nets though, so there's just. But Claxton would probably be it if we had to go there. Again, the one problem, or I say problem loosely, I guess here. One of the reasons we like Claxton so much was the assist numbers, and we attributed that because Michael Porter Jr. is making a bunch of shots. But if Michael Porter Jr. can't hit from 3, is that going to hurt the Claxton assist numbers here today?
Could. Nick Claxton also leads them in paint touches per game, and that's where you dominate Dallas.
Sure.
So maybe there's a bump for Claxton here in terms of scoring. We know he's going to be around the rim with AD and defensively and stuff too. So.
Would you leave $1,400 for Champagny?
No, I would get up to. I would absolutely get up to VJ.
Yeah.
There's just such a higher ceiling with minutes too. Like VJ might play 40 minutes.
Yeah. Nembhard a good play today. Well, we kind of touched on this. I mean, there's other value point guards. Like you're going to be splitting Nembhard minutes with Brandon Williams probably. Like just play KJ Simpson.
I do think like. In a tournament, you could go there, but you also have to have the understanding that he might just share time with Brandon Williams. If he's cooking, we've seen it. He plays and they play him over Williams, but if not, he's just going to split time.
All right. Anything else here at center that that we're doing?
You could play Aldama here too. That's like driving the ownership. You could play Duran, Okongwu. I think both of them are fine if you're spending up. Bagley, I think.
What do you make of more people playing Vucevic tonight than Bagley as of now on the ownership?
Price, just price related. And also, it's also could be blowout related, right? Sure. Like Vucevic in a blowout, like he is a really good fantasy player. We've seen it. And if he is up to 27 minutes or 22 minutes, like that's all he needs. I mean, so I think it's just people probably playing the blowout narrative.
Okay. Anything else?
No, not with Jock at 37.
All righty. Let's get a core going there then. Imagine we'll just go like Simpson. Where is he? 45, right? 45 Grimes.
Play my boy. Play Bridges tonight, please, and Landale. Yeah, Grimes, you can play shooting guard or small forward. You can play Bridges, and then you play Landale. That would be the 4 I'd start with.
And then to be contrarian, we do this. All right. Simpson, Grimes, Bridges, Landale, Jalen Johnson, small forward, guard, utility. The full lineup will go in the Discord for you guys who are subscribers. You can check that out. Andrew says he'll share his lineup in the Discord. Great. Share it in the Discord. We'll help you guys out with your lineups today. Good luck. Have a happy weekend, everybody. Grinding out. We'll be back Sunday night for the Monday preview show. We'll see you then.